Do me like Jesus, can't nobody. Do me like the Lord, can't nobody. Do me like Jesus, he's my friend. Can't nobody. Do me like Jesus, can't nobody. Do me like the Lord, can't nobody. Do me like Jesus, he's my friend. You can take that same song and change the words and have the same song. Listen. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up, tell him what you want. Same song, but if you notice, I played the same chords, but different words. And many of the Pentecostal or holiness songs were like, and still are like that. You could even do, Lord, I want to go, show me the way. Lord, I want to go, show me the way. Lord, I want to go, show me the way. Take me by my hand and lead me on. Well, lead me, Jesus, lead me, show me the way. Lead me, Jesus, lead me, show me the way. Lead me, Jesus, lead me, show me the way. Take me by my hand and lead me on. And notice, again, I was accompanying, so I didn't play every note with every passage. Let's just start by talking about the pattern. So you have, you're going to start with F. And then you're going to go to B flat. And that's your 4. Back to your 1. And then your D, C, G, C, F. So you have Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. There you walk, boom, 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 okay? Boom, boom, to your B flat. All right, now because I'm not singing, I have a tendency to fill in with the melody. So what I need to do is sing, and then I'll stop and play a portion of what I've just accompanied myself with, all right? Jesus is on the main line, tell him what you want. And all I did that time in the coming. All right, and what I'm playing is F, C, F, C. In the bass, F, C, F, F, G, A, B flat. In the right hand, I'm playing part of the F chord. I have the F in my little finger, and A and C are in the thumb and the index finger. And I'm making a rhythm by playing. That's A, C, we're doing those thirds. A, C, and then B flat and D. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Da-da-da, ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. Hear that? Change to our 4 chord. And a lot of times older people, and we are working with traditional gospel, so older people use back to your 4 chord. And what we did, back to your 1 chord, your F chord. And what they were doing was using the thumb and interchanging F, G, F, F, G, F, F, G, F, F, G, F, until you get ready. Just on the main line, tell him. Now, this is one of my own, not necessarily traditional. where you have an E in your left hand, a G, B, D, and an A. If you can do that spread. If you can't, you might want to do it like that, with the thumb playing the A in your thumb, A, G, B. But I use the high. And that's A, G, D flat, E, and A. D in your left hand, A, D, and F. And then, can't nobody do me like Jesus. You heard that like a train. And sometimes people call that boogie woogie, or they use it and talk about blues. Well, I don't know anything about blues. I've been a church baby. I was taken to the church at 1 month old and I've been there ever since. So what you're listening to is something that has been done in churches for years, and then it was taken to the secular world. You have an F, a C, and then you're interchanging with your thumb. You're going F, C, F, D, F, E flat, D, C, D, and so you're going, almost sounds like a train going down the track. So you're going, and that's an F octave, and in between you're playing an A, a B flat, and a C. So, and use that grace note. That's F, first set A. Each one alternate with an F. Grace, when I say grace 8, I've used a half step and quickly moved to the A. So it's grace A, B, C, B, grace A. And you got you have an octave. You hear it? Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. You hear that? Da 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 da. All right, and that's an A flat, E flat, C, and then that's that grace note going down to a G, D, B flat, D in your left hand, and F, and then the F natural, grace D, C, T, F chord. So it's Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. And then can't nobody do me like Jesus. Can't nobody. Now you heard. You're using those thirds. That's all you're doing. A flat C, G B flat, A flat F, F D C. When you make it, remember we have that from F to B flat. That's all we're doing. A different style, but it's the same. It's still F, B flat, F. That's all we're doing. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Da, 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 I think of a chicken. Da, 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 da. That A flat, remember we did it. There it is. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Back to your F, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. All right, so you find out you can take a Pentecostal song that has been done. Those of you who have been envying those piano players, they're not doing all you think that they are doing. Basically what they're doing is fudging. and just changing that 1, 4, 1. That's it. Sometimes here and then back to here. We're going to try something a little bit different. This is going to be very up-tempo, and I'm just going to go ahead and just play it all the way through. I may put 2 songs with it. And then I'd like to come back and show you some of the things that were done that possibly you could add to songs that you already play. Listening to, of course, being the soloist, musically, you heard a lot of the song, so you would not get lost. But we can do variations to that. We can start with, just as if you were doing a composition that would be classical, they take various segments of it, and it becomes more of a variety, a song of variety. Maybe one section of the orchestra is going to be emphasized, and they get an opportunity to do their own solo. The same way with a piano, you can do the very same thing. Let's take just the melody first. You notice I added, that's like my trumpets. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burden. And what you're hearing in the left hand, sometimes they say it's a working bass because that's my rhythm. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down burdens down by the riverside. No more. Let's do it slowly. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Down by the riverside, gonna lay down my burdens. Down by the riverside, study war no more. I'm staying in G, but Notice I'm going all over the scale. It's usually in thirds. Sometimes it's not. Boom, 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 boom. Let's try it again. As you're learning, do a little bit at a time. Notice your bass, bump one. And as you get into the song, let's make some variations. Watch what I'll do. Gone through it once. Let's change it. Maybe let your right hand do a solo. Let's see what we can do with the key of F and try what we call a shouting song. Now, and again, some churches are very jubilant in their gospel music, and some others are more subdued and quieter. This is one of those songs where I almost need a choir, because usually it's a call response song and someone is singing like, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. Be that if old people would hear somebody playing, they'd say that they were playing barrel house music or blues, but it's part of the gospel setting when you play gospel music. Let's look at another area where you might have to begin a song for someone, and you always, not always, but usually you begin a song with an introduction, and if you do, you want an introduction that will build into the beginning of the song. So let's try He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And I'm using simple songs that you're familiar with so it will not be so foreign, learning a song plus learning how to play it. Now you know the song. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole He's got the whole world in his hands. Well, you've got to start him off, so how would you do it? That's a typical introduction in a gospel song with some octaves, something heavy, something bold, with your left hand in an octave of E and the right hand in an octave of E, and together you just move them to the G. And you end up with your C. Ba-boom, ba-boom. If you're listening to some of the Mahalia Jackson numbers and you listen to it, you'll hear something like that done right in the beginning of her song. All right? Another introduction you could use for Whole World in His Hand would be just a little change. Instead of using the octaves all the way, using some chords. And he's got the whole world in his hand. You could do that. For a slow song, one of the most, I think it's a tag that people use all the time, especially in the old songs, such as all right, that's an A flat, so let's bring it down to a C. Depending on what you're song, it might be what a friend, which we did, we have in Jesus. But you always hear ba da ba boom, da 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 da. You hear that? And all you're doing is taking whatever you started with your root, and you're going to go to your fourth or whatever. So ba ba ba. 1, 4, ba ba ba. Just what? See how we did that? Okay, you might do a song such as In the Key of F. All right. And you hear a lot of songs that start like this. And remember that tremolo that we talked about? Okay. There are so many things that you can do in gospel music to embellish what you already know. Those of you who are just beginners, remember to start with the very, very basic thing. Some people become so anxious to play that they try to skip over a lot of things. Most of all, it takes practice. You don't do it overnight. You must practice. And don't practice to the point where you're so tired of it that you walk away from it. But start with just a phrase or two, or maybe part of a song, maybe 2 lines of a song. Practice 15 to 30 minutes on it. Get up, leave it, then come back, work on it. And and most of all, tape yourself. You'll find that when you tape what you've played and listen to it, again, you'll find your flaws and you'll work on it. And then just save that portion of the tape. And 2 weeks later, go back and listen and hear the changes that will become very evident as you practice more. Here's the hymn, Blessed Assurance. My test question, where is the melody? Can you pick out the melody? If you said the little finger, you're right. it with your chord. So that gives you an idea. Remember, learn your melody first and then practice around. Add your chords, add those voices that will make it sound like a chord so that you can play in a very exciting way. I really have enjoyed sharing with you the various styles of gospel music. And as I told you in the beginning, when you say gospel, you're opening Pandora's box because there are so many varieties of black sacred music that you can use to show the different styles that we can accomplish. I hope that you do practice, and most of all, let me know if there's something that you've learned that you didn't know before. And I would even love to hear from some of you if you have tapes that you want to send and let me hear how you've progressed. It would be great to do so. Remember that the major thing, as I said earlier, is to practice. If you don't practice, you're not going to accomplish much. You can't wait and close your eyes and say, I hope I learn how to play. You've got to play. The more you play, the better it will be. And thank you very much for just taking time to listen to some traditional gospel music. Bye-bye.